Right, so today we're going to rant about the news that Joe Johnston of Captain America First Avenger fame is going to be heading the Chronicles of Narnia reboot. But they're starting with The Silver Chair, which is the direct sequel to the last film. This doesn't make any sense. No one seems to understand what reboot means. That means you're starting from the beginning, you're starting over. This film is not a reboot. This film is a direct sequel to the last film. General audiences, they'll look at this as like, oh, this is a sequel to the last film. They've just recast. By calling it a reboot, God, general audiences they just won't get it. The Narnia franchise is probably one of the sloppiest franchises in recent film history. Disney picked it up several years ago. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe came out in, 2005, I think it was. It came out to quite positive-ish reviews. Disney were really wanting to bank on the likes of the Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter franchise, and they thought this was going to be their ticket to doing that. However, they failed. And then Fox picked up the franchise and they produced The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which kind of was okay-ish, but still suffered from the same kind of misunderstanding of what the Chronicles of Narnia is all about. Disney's biggest issue when they took on the franchise was they didn't have anyone to helm the projects that really had a passion for it. There was no Peter Jackson or Chris Columbus or David Yates who really stood behind the books and wanted to make sure that the books were told as closely as possible. That's what made The Lord of the Rings and even the stupid Hobbit, and of course all the Harry Potter films so beloved is widely speaking, the narrative of those stories is kept intact. And that's ultimately why they failed, because there was not anyone behind these projects who really believed in them and wanted them done properly. It was just a money-making move. Yeah, now Joe Johnston's coming out and he's going to revive the franchise with The Silver Chair, which is a direct sequel to the last film. They're calling it a reboot, but this is as senseless as someone saying, you know what, let's reboot the Harry Potter franchise, but let's do it with, The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's a good place to start. It's stupid, it's senseless, it doesn't make any sense. All The Silver Chair is going to do is confuse general audiences. The Silver Chair is, in my opinion, not the best book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, and just seems like a really bad place to even start a reboot. You're dealing with characters and a universe that have had 4 books building it up and establishing it. You cannot have The Silver Chair without understanding The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or Prince Caspian, or The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It doesn't make any sense. What, is TriStar going to rely on the previous Narnia films? Are those going to be part of its canon? And if they do try and actually reboot and start telling those previous films of Lion, the Witch, Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian, it's just going to confuse people to death, because they'll think, wait a minute, I thought this was a sequel, but now they're going back, so, does this film begin here, or where does this fit in? People want to complain that the X-Men films are a jumbled mess. People just got really confused because Wolverine Origins was an absolute pile of shit and messed up the timeline. So imagine what this reboot is going to do to the Narnia franchise. It's already crap. Now you're just going to make it even crappier. If there really was one franchise that was absolutely fine to reboot, it's the Chronicles of Narnia. It's been a sloppy, messy road for that franchise, and it's never really taken off. No one sits there and goes, hey, let's go back and watch The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That was a good film. Ever. If they really, cared about this franchise, they need to really cleanse the palate of the audiences, and what they really should be doing is starting the franchise over and potentially releasing the films in chronological order. So it's still going to follow a narrative that helps establish the world and establishes the characters, but doesn't confuse the bejesus out of people by starting midway through a franchise. But rebooting the franchise with The Silver Chair is absolutely asinine. To be honest, I won't even be surprised if it doesn't actually get made. What do you think of The Silver Chair being the reboot, sequel, C-boot to the Chronicles of Narnia franchise thing? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? What would you rather see TriStar do with a franchise that Disney and Fox failed to do? Or is it already too late for them because of where they're starting? Personally, I think it's already too late. Let me know what you think. Comment below, like the video if you did like it, and if you want to hear more of my videos, subscribe.